Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Here we go. Let's get going on TikTok too. Beautiful. How are you? How are you doing? It's so good. Is it? Apparently. Apparently. I've been feeling today. I've been feeling today. I feel real quiet. Hold on. I need to get this up actually. I forgot this kind of like got shorter the other night. Hold on. Gotta get the computer on this side set up a little bit more. I wasn't prepared. I thought I was. So silly. How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good today. I'm feeling kind of quiet, feeling kind of whispery. I'm feeling kind of secretive today. That's kind of how I'm feeling. Hold on, we're almost there. We almost got this computer all the way done up how it needs to be. Is it good? I think so. Oh, and my chimes are going off. My chimes are going off outside. Okay. Let it be a ride then. Let it be a ride then. That interesting. Interesting. Let's look and see. I've been feeling I'm alive, you know. Uraldi, was it you? I think it was you. There was people who were leaving a lot of comments on my blog. Was that today? All today, basically all of today. I think it was. I think it was you. There was a beautiful. I think it was you who. If it was you, you left me a beautiful message. Thank you for that. You know, so good. You said my name. Oh, so good, so good. Wow, sir. Oh yeah, thank you too. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Hi to you too. Hey, 12th house Jess. Oh my gosh. Let's look and see. I'm feeling before we even get into the cards. Today's been a ride, man. Today's been a ride. It's been a, what do I mean by that? It's just been very motherly. Today's been motherly. You can't see it on TikTok, but I put on YouTube that I named this live reading Aquarius season and the mothers. The mothers today and yesterday, it's like today and yesterday, the mothers have been clocked in they've been clocked in. I don't know if you've been feeling it, but you know it today has been a ride. You know what? The motherly, it feels good. It feels good to send a message on the website. Thank you. There's been a lot of response on the most recent blog post that I put out, so if you have responded to me, I'm grateful for you. I got things in the works after hearing everybody's responses. I think the best thing, because there's people in here who are involved with that, so let's talk about it for a second before we get into any sort of like reading space or reading energy. One of the things for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I put up, hello, Elena, I love you. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, I love you. I've been thinking about you recently. I didn't text you though. I should probably do that. Anyways, love you. Let me move on to what I was going to say. So one of my good friends just showed up in the chat room. Let me move into the work. Of course you show up. Of course you show up. Of course Elena shows up on the day where the mothers have been on it with me today. Of course, of course, of course. It is what it is. Let me run it back. Let me run it back. Okay. Thanks for the happy, joyful moment. That's true. You know what? That's true. So for people who don't know what I'm talking about, let's go back. I put out a call to the witches and practitioners on my blog recently, basically saying like it's time to organize. How are people feeling? What are you thinking about? What can I offer to you? What can we bring resourcefully? So I think because I've been thinking about it, and it's really important in organization to have people in your community that you can connect with. And I mean like in the physical space, except for this community is going to be something that is more in a digital place and in a digital space. And so I think the focus, because magic has real world effects. That's the other part of things. That's the other part of what is really going on. Magic has real world effects. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. I love magic. I've seen it happen time and time again. Magic changes the real world. So one of the things I'm going to focus on moving forward is bringing collective orders of like, I don't know that I want to call it rituals, workings, weavings. Basically, I want to be able to focus collectively our energy that, because I was thinking about this before I got on. The way I practice magic is to practice magic so I can change myself. Therefore, in tune with that, I change how I mirror the world, which means that the world has to change its mirror to mirror me. But I'm not practicing things necessarily to change what's happening externally. It's about my internal circumstances. So the first work that I think that I'm going to bring through for people is to, I think we're gonna be doing it for the new moon. That's kind of the order. It is gonna be, we're gonna get specifics later on, but we've got liberation, free and truth. Truth, liberation, and free. Those are to be rooted in it. To be rooted in it. That's the first work that we're doing. So if you are interested in that, because if we're going to be doing any work when it comes to what is happening in our great old nation that we live in, if we're going to be doing any work that is going to be shifting the spirits, we got to be rooted in something. And so that's going to be the first. That's going to be the first one. That's going to be the first one. We're going to be working. We're going to be working. We're going to be working. And it's going to be on that new moon in Aquarius. And that way we're starting a new cycle. We're starting the new nodes. We're starting right after that. Uranus is going to go direct. So we have like the final days of Uranus being able to bind up some orders for us. Thank you, the primordial beings. That is true. So if you're interested in that, go check out the blog. There's going to be more information coming out very soon. Probably a video with it too, but just for people who have been kind of around and in that space, that's going to be the first one, because what I really want to be able to focus on in that collective world of us together, putting our magic into a place and a space, education for sure. There's a lot of things that I'll be able to bring to teach, to reach about order and structure when it comes to magical practices. And also, one of the things that practitioners and witches are able to do is keep the spirits that need the elevation and offerings in love, truth, free, honor, glory, elevation, and gratitude, reverence, and love. Keep them up and lifted. Keep them up and lifted. Keep them up and keep them lifted. Keep them up and keep them lifted. That's going to be our focus. That's going to be the focus of what we're working in. And also, first, we got to root ourselves into the work. So that's going to be the first one. So if you're interested in that, we got more information coming through soon. Probably I'll post something on TikTok also. There's probably going to be a video on YouTube explaining the whole work, but I don't know exactly when it's going to come out. We got, I've got a couple days probably to get that up and going. So just a heads up on time. Okay, today I'm feeling real, it is the motherly energy. Yes, Marissa, the motherly energy. It's been motherly today. So let's go ahead. Let's look at what else we have going on. I'm in too. That's true. What else do we have going on? Also, thank you. Is it Carol Ann? Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I think, are you the one who said you sent me? Yeah, you sent me a message on the website. I did see it. I need to get in return to you. I think right now, the way that I build stuff is like, do what works now, and there might be more that comes later. So that's what I'm going to focus on, and I'll reach out to you for extra steps because I have something for connectivity. I'll get you an email is really what I'm trying to say. It'll be there. So thank you. So good. Wow. Aquarius season is going to be interesting. That's for certain and for sure. The reversal of birth. That's something that's been coming up recently. The reversal of a birth is going back to the origin. Reversal of a birth is going to the origins. We have several different retrogrades in Aquarius season that are going to be going direct. We have Uranus going direct. We have Jupiter going direct. Mars is going direct once we get to Pisces season. Still pretty close though. It's still going to be in the moon cycle that's ruled by the new moon in Aquarius. So it's still going to be Aquarianly synced. It's still going to be Aquarian energy. It's still going to be in the Aquarian cycle, even though it's not the sun season. So we're going back to the origins, going back to the seeds, going back to the originations, going back to the predations. What is before it happened? Go back to that. What ushered it in? What ushered it into your life? What ushered it into your ancestry? What ushered it in to society? Possibly depends on what you're looking at, but that's kind of the energy. If you're trying to do work right now, there's a lot of like return to the origin of it. Return to the origin. Let's pick that one up. Return to the origin. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. What else do we have here? A joy is grounding. Interesting. Joy is grounding, and we got new coming through. And you know what's real interesting? Okay, I see you. You know what's real interesting? Recently, man, I love you, Freya. I really do. Recently, I did a personal reading for myself, and it was like, joy that you can't see is coming through. And I was like, how, where, what, when? Yes, I will agree with that because I would love to have some unseen joy come through. That sounds wonderful. And also joy grounding and new being ushered in. I keep seeing the rune recently. It's this one. I keep seeing this rune recently. There's a couple different ways to pronounce it. This rune's real interesting because it doesn't have. It's like one of the runes that we don't have a lot of written information about. Other ones we have stories, associations. There's like other, this one though is real magical, is real secret. Like I said, I'm feeling really secret today. I'm really feeling really secretive. Thank you for joy. That's true. I'm thankful for joy too, for sure. So it's real secret. If you study it and you look at the runes, there's a lot of wisdom in it, and also interesting. But I've been seeing this one over and 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 over again, and it's also the ushering in. It's like ushering something. If you get it upright in the position, it's like ushering something new in. It's at the bottom of the deck. So we got joy grounding, new being ushered in, new being ushered through. What else do we need to see? A harvest that we can't see. What have you been doing recently that would allow you to receive more joy? I don't know. For you, because I'm not you. But if you look at your life, what have you been doing recently that's like gonna allow you to receive more joy? What are you doing? We need the other card deck. Hold on. What are you doing recently that's gonna allow you to receive more joy? Something being harvested about that. It's like, what have you been doing that allows you to receive more joy? Who have you been around? I know for me, I've been kind of like leaving cycles and it's like cycles I didn't even really realize I was in. I've been leaving cycles. I've been leaving people. I've been leaving places. I've been leaving spaces. I've been leaving mindsets. I've been also like collecting. How do I say this? How do I explain that? It's like collecting the perspectives I've needed for a long time. You ever realize like a part of you is missing, or like you're not able to see something very specifically? There's a part of me that was missing for a long time that recently got reignited or like realigned. I got to see it again. I was like, "Oh yeah, that is me. Oh yeah, that's me. I forgot about it. I've been looking for that part of myself. I didn't forget about it. I've been like nudging myself to find it, and I just couldn't for whatever reason, but I did recently." So it's like that. There's like unseen harvest coming through, something to be helpful. It's a helpful. What else is this? 5 of coins, changing money. Make sure your money's honey. Make sure it's sweet, not just a treat sweet. Make sure it's like a meal to eat. Make sure you're able to sit and eat the meal. How do you feel? Make sure you're able to sit and eat the meal. That, because I see people like up and maybe I need to hear this too. Usually that's true when I do these readings for me and you. So you know what? I'll clock it for myself. I see somebody up and going, up and moving up. It's like, if you got company coming over and you're making the food and you're getting the table set and you're making sure the dinner's on the table, you're making sure everything's seasoned the way you want it to be, and then you're making sure everybody's all right. It like eventually the mom has to sit down. You ever been at a dinner table where the mom is like, "What do you want? Do you want more casserole? You want more of this? You want more of that? Let me get you more of that." And like the whole time they're just like getting it dished out. Eventually the mom, it's like what I see about this is like there's a meal and you can do whatever you want during the meal, but wouldn't you want to sit down and eat? Don't you want to sit down and eat? I want to sit and eat. Don't you want to sit and eat? Look at things that have been happening on repeat. On repeat. Do you see the circle? You can't see it on that one. It's a circle over here, and then there's like a rhythm, a circle and a rhythm. What's been happening on repeat? Cycles, cyclical, cycles. Make sure that you sit down to eat. There's only one meal. There's a meal. So sit and eat. Sit and eat, because after that, you're going to get up, you're going to clean the dishes. Maybe there's going to be people that you're eating with that are going to clean the dishes for you because you cooked everything. Okay. However that might happen for you, take care of yourself, sit and eat, enjoy. There's a meal in front of you. You have cooked something up for yourself. Sit and eat. Would you please sit and eat? That's what I hear. Would you please sit and eat? Like, would you please sit, please eat. I feel that very much on my heart also. I feel like I need to sit and eat now too. Hold on. Please sit and eat. Sit and eat. Sit and eat. Oh my goodness. I cooked recently for the first time too. Also, thank you. I feel like I look good even though I've been resting and recovering recently. Sit and eat. My chime's going off again. Sit and eat. I baked bread. That sounds good, That sounds good. Oh, I know that's my grandma energy. Somebody called me grandma recently. Somebody called me grandma recently. Someone called me. Thank you. Grateful for that. Somebody called me grandma recently. Let me pick these up. And I was like, if you had any idea, yes. Interesting. Okay. What else do we need to see about Aquarius season? What else do we need to see? Okay, let's talk about the new coming through. It's time. We need to talk about it. First, let me get some kombucha, and then let's sit and talk about it. That's true. You know what? Hold on. I really want some chocolate too. Kombucha and chocolate. If anybody couldn't tell, I make offerings to Freya. Now you can, because what? Kombucha and chocolate? That's clock it. Clock it. Let me get some chocolate. Kombucha, chocolate, you know, exactly. See, sit and eat. What did I just say? Sit and eat. What? Yeah, okay. Well, understood. Ridiculous, yo. I love kombucha too. It's so good. Hello to you too. Hello to you too. Crone energy is, you know, the wise women vibe. What did I hear recently? It's been something that's been going around on, I think it's on TikTok. That's really the only platform I sit and scroll on kind of consistently. And there was a video, it was something going around recently. And they were saying that we're one of 3 species. Humans are one of 3 species that has menopause in it. We're one of 3 species that where the cycles of women stop. And the only reason that that would happen is because women have another purpose other than just giving birth. Interesting. Interesting. More than it. I'll let it rest. You know, elephants and whales. Thank you for that. That's interesting. Elephants, orcas, and primates. Yeah, to pass on the knowledge. Exactly. Love it. You know, the whales. That's interesting. The whales. Whales. Okay, so let's talk about the new. What else do we need to know with the new? The new coming through. A seed you've sown. This is something that came up in another reading recently too. It was like a seed about to pop up out the ground. You know how sometimes one of the things, I don't know if this happens to other people when they garden, but this happens to me when I garden. So we're going to talk about it. When I garden, I haven't planted like new seeds in a long time in the sense of like putting them under the dirt and then watering them and waiting for them to sprout up, waiting for them to grow. I've done it metaphorically, but not like an actual literal seed, right? Okay. One of the things that I used to do though, there was, okay, specifically one time, I'll use this as an example, but this has happened with multiple different seeds I planted. I remember there was this one time I planted a mango pit. I'd never planted a mango pit before, just got a mango at the store. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to grow the pit of the mango. I want to try. I want to see if I can grow the mango. I want a mango tree. Sounds great. There's a lot that's happened in my life since then. I don't have any of those plants anymore. But anyways, it sprouted eventually. And this happens to me all the time. When I stop paying attention to the seed, if I don't look at it, if I forget about it, it sprouts. But if I stare at it and I wait and I look, and I say, when's it going to sprout? When's it going to pop up? Then it doesn't do anything. It is the most infuriating thing. It's so frustrating. So it's like you planted a seed and like you forgot about it, or like you have to stop looking at it, or I don't know, just like leave it alone. Leave it alone. You planted something, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Let it rest. Leave it alone. It'll pop up when it's ready. New coming through. Oh, interesting. I heard that in my bones. Interesting. I don't know if you heard that I felt it in my bones. I could hear it in my bones. All right, let's talk it through. A seed sprouting. Could be something around you. Could be a part of your career. It could be something in a relationship. It could be an art project. It could be an idea. It's going to be different for everybody. But we got new coming through. This is the first Aquarius season that we're having where Pluto is in Aquarius and we're not going back to Capricorn, because we had Pluto in Aquarius in the previous year. In 2024, we had Pluto in Aquarius, but then we went back to Capricorn. So this is the first year. Pluto last year was like, yeah, I get to go into Aquarius, but like, let me not do too much because I still got to go back. I got to finish some stuff up, right? I still got to go back. Let me not do too much. This year, though, Pluto in Aquarius is like, okay, well, we're here now. I'm here for 18 years, so let me live it up. Let me do what I need to do. Let me be true. Let me be full. Let me be authentic in it. So it's a little different this year. So it's a little different this year. It's a little different this year. So looking at the difference, the different energy, the different flips, and again, the mothers. Interesting. You see, what did I say? The mothers coming through today. Oh my goodness. Thank you, the mothers who do love me. I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you. The mothers coming through. It's like sprout pop up. Something about the mothers. It's like the mothers start to show up. And there's a reading. Let's bring it all the way back, okay? Because there's a reading I did. When was it? It's like a couple of months ago. They've been saying this for months now. Well, I guess I've been saying this for months, but I've been hearing this for months. I've been reading this for months, psychically, spiritually, that the mothers are going to ground and it's going to be surround sound. Not me sitting here not realizing that and talking about the mothers. So interesting. A mother seed. A mother seed. What do we got going on? Mother seed. A mother seed. And what's interesting about this is recently, I think this was also in a live stream reading. One of the things that Spirit told me to look at is how the feminine offers seeds. How does a feminine offer a seed? It's something that you need. Here, you need some food. Here you go. Get some food. Here, you need socks. Get some socks. Here's some socks. Here, you need a jacket. Get a jacket. Here, you need to sit and talk to somebody. Here you go. It's what you need. The mothers offer what you need. That's the mother seed. What do you need? What do you need? Okay, well then, here's what you need. Love you. Get up and go on your journey again. Keep going. A mother seed. A mother seed. So we got things that we need. Things that we need. I know for me, there's been things coming through that I need. It's like ideas, confirmations, couple corrections. Honestly, it's like, okay, well, you keep yourself in line then. Because, sometimes the mothers are stern. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes it's necessary. So it's like, keep yourself in line then. You know what you're doing. Just keep it in line. Understand. Okay. Then there's been some other things coming through recently too. Assuredness. Okay. There's been some trust that's been coming through. More than trust, it's like just a knowing. Just a knowing recently. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but it's just like a know. Just a knowing, Something that you didn't even know you needed, but she knew, so she gave it. You know what? That's true. That's real interesting. Sometimes that's true. Mothers do have that eye, don't they? They do have that eye. The mother eye of like, you don't even know that you need this. Wait a minute. I don't ever like clock the comments like that. When I do, it's always important. Interesting. I feel like I got to sit with that now. I got to sit with that and ruminate on that. Sometimes the mothers do look at the kids and they're like, you don't even know that you need this, but you need this. Okay. I needed to hear that. Thank you. I don't remember. Was it something Brandolin? I got 4, so it's intuitive. Oh my goodness. The mother's bringing through something you don't even know that you need. I want to know what's going to show up. What you got going on? Now I feel like a kid again. Like, what are you really bringing through? What are you really gonna do? For me, I have an inclination possibility. I don't know for sure. What do you really do? For me? Oh, interesting. Wow. Oh my goodness. Not a mom, worked with kids for 18 years. Have my Jupiter in Cancer. You know what? Valid. Did you? That's valid. It's coming in directly. This is not something that you're going to have. Thank you for the clarity. It's coming in directly. It's not something that you're going to have to look at and be like, is that what I asked for? Is that what they're bringing through? No, you're not going to have to do that. You're not going to have to do that. It's going to be very clear. It's going to be very precise, precision. Yeah, I did decide to be here. And I did decide to receive that. That's true. Okay. I did decide that. Something that you decided. It's like, it's like what I see is like a kid that is going to go out on an adventure. That was, don't know what happened there, but go out on an adventure. My words feel like they're floating on the air today. It's a little different. Anyways, it is Aquarius season. That's true. The big winds, the big air with care. Valid. Also real interesting that the very beginning, I've been thinking about this all day. Do we need to talk about this right now? Apparently. It's real interesting to me. I don't know how many people in here really think about snow and ice as a part of their practice, but snow and ice for me are a big part of my practice. Let me sit up. Let me get up. Let me sit up. Snow and ice for me are a big part of my practice. You're telling me after, look at what's happened the previous 2 days. Look at what's happened the previous 2 days. And then you're gonna have basically the whole entire nation's under snow. Was really about to grow. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Interesting. But this thing with the mothers coming through, they're gonna bring it directly. This is not gonna be something that you question. It's also not gonna be something. It's not like a burden. Because before I got onto the snow thing, what I was gonna say, this is the reason I started talking about snow, is like if you have what I see is like a mother and a son in a house. If the son's gonna go outside, the mother's gonna make sure he has a coat. Directly, obviously, hey, son, wear a coat. Hey, son, you need a jacket. But the son isn't thinking about it. He's not thinking about it. He's not thinking, I need a coat. I'm just going to go outside. I got things to do. You know, the kid's not thinking about it. The son is not thinking about it. Because what I hear also is like, it's very masculine. It's like people who are in more of like a get up, do, go kind of energy. Get up, go, do kind of energy. It's very active. So if you've been in the get up, go, because that's another thing that came through on the podcast for February. I did a special episode going through kind of month to month through August of this year. I'll do another one eventually for the rest of the year, but we got through August in that one. And February was like, it's get up and go time. You got to get up. And it's the mothers coming in too. It's the mothers coming in and being like, get up. We got stuff to do. You better get up. Get up out of bed. Get up, get up, get up, get up. We got get up. Get up. It's like really, it was serious, but also kind of playful at the same time. Serious and fun. Serious, and there's the sun. Serious, and we get to listen to good music on the way. Okay. So mom looking at the kid being like, listen, I know you got to go. I told you to get up and go. I told you to go out and live your dream. I told you to go do it. I told you to go, but you need a coat. That's the energy I get from this. I told you to go, so you gotta go. And also, wait, hold on, you need a coat. I also get the energy too. Some people, you ever seen the sun energy for this is really heavy, of it being like a boy or a masculine energy. Again, that like get up and go do stuff. It reminds me, you ever seen a mom like love on her son, and her son finally is like, listen, I gotta go. Listen, mom, I love you, but I gotta go. I gotta leave. Like I got things to do. Is giving that energy also. Like a mom who like the word dote, or like, is that correct? Like a doting mom, where it's like, I just love you, son. Like I just really, really love you. I just really, really love you. That's what it reminds me of too. So you kind of have to like pick yourself up and like go on the adventure or continue going after the mother gives you what you need, because you're going to want to maybe stay for a little bit, but you got, spend your time for sure. And also remember, you got things you got to go do. You might need to sit and have a conversation with the mothers when they bring through what you need. Because another thing I see is like, maybe you get that coat and before you go outside, you're like, wait a second, let me sit with my mom. Let me talk to her. I haven't actually talked. It's like a reminder, like I got to talk to my mom. She gave me this coat and I haven't even said thank you to her for dinner. Like I was going to leave. I didn't even say thanks. So there's like an energy of got to sit down and talk with mom. Remember everything mom's done for you. That's really true. Interesting. Ooh. For some people, let's bring clarity. For some people, that's going to be very spiritual. It's going to be very spiritual mother energy. For some people, it's going to be very ancestrally connected, of like your mother or mothers in your life ancestrally. Could be aunts, aunties. Just depends on the person and the work and the space and the place and the people and the magic. It just depends. But for some people, it's going to be really spiritual. For some people, it's going to be really physical. And for some people, it's probably going to be a little bit of both. So do with that as you need to. Interesting. Surround sound. What else do we need to see? Just help my mama. I love that. I love the mothers. I'm so grateful the mothers have been so near me recently. That's so true. And I really am. I'm so grateful that the mothers have been so near me recently. It's like, how do I say this? The moment that my priestesshood was consecrated, and this was probably like at this point, a month and a half, 2 months ago, around that time frame. I remember it was like immediately things were different. Immediately, I was walking different. Immediately, I was feeling different. Immediately, it was different. It was just different. Don't know how to explain it other than it was real and it's here and it wasn't a question anymore. And ever since then, I love you, the mothers. Ever since then, the mothers have been coming. It's like they're swooping in, saying something here and there, swooping in. But recently, instead of just swooping in, I feel them kind of around me, being like, go this way and like not pushing me around, but it's just like really close to me, really, really close to me. It's very different. It's really different. It's really different. It's really, really different, Snowing in Florida. It is snowing here. It is. Strange. And also the end of a ride, the ride is grounding. Both are true. One thing ends so another can begin. One thing ends so another can begin. What are you ending so another can begin? One thing ends. Could be multiple things ending so another can begin. Another thing ending so another can begin. Another thing, I definitely didn't mean to release the minute I said that, I was like, I did not mean to clock my location on the internet. Anyways, here we are. Yeah, one thing ending so another can begin. One thing ending so another can begin. One thing ending so another can begin. The ride is changing. It's rearranging. Like when you're on a long road trip. Oh my goodness. When you're on a long road trip and you get to a point in the road trip and you're like, man, we gotta change it up. Let's get some snacks. We need different music. I need to get a coat. Let's get a blanket. Maybe I need to change my shoes. I don't know. You gotta take time though. It's like a moment where it's like, we got to switch it up a little bit. We got to change up the ride a little bit. Maybe whoever's driving, if you're driving with another person, maybe that changes. Maybe it's like the scenery changes a little bit too. The ride's different. Like you're still in the same vehicle. Thank you, electricity. You're still in the same vehicle. You're still in the same, get it going for most people. Some people switching out vehicles. Interesting, different. It'll be what it is if that's true for you. It might not be, so discern. That's also valid. But for some people, you're going to be in the same vehicle. It's just a different ride. It's a different tune. It's a different vibe of energy. It's different now. So one thing ending, so another can begin. Again, it could be multiple things ending so that there's more room. This is a season where, like, if you've had things closing, this makes me kind of sleepy. I keep doing this. I keep doing like, it's time to rest now. It's time for those things to come to a close and come to an end. It's time for them to be done. It's time for them to be done. Let them rest. That's one thing I've been talking to my ancestry about recently. Every time there's a cycle that comes up, I've been doing this. This is the way that I've been speaking to them recently. Every time a cycle comes up and I'm like, no, we're not doing that anymore. You can rest now. You can rest. The ancestors involved in that. You can rest now. You can sleep now. You can rest now. You need to rest now, actually. Thank you. Well, sometimes I gotta be a little bit more stern about it, but that's one thing that I've been calling interesting. I didn't even realize I was doing that for months now. I've been doing that. You can rest now. You can rest now. Giving them permission to rest. You can rest. You don't have to keep feeding me. Rest. Yeah. Rest. Or like everything ending. Oh my goodness. You're going to make it through, okay? You're going to make it through. It's going to be great. You're going to make it through. It's going to be great. My goodness. Especially after, listen, Marissa, especially after our reading today, you're about to up and into something real new. But let me leave that for another space and place. You know what? But it'll be great. It'll be great. Again, joy. Interesting. Joy. A victory coming towards you? Interesting. Oh, that could have so many different meanings. Let's talk about victory coming towards you. That could have so many different meanings. This is like what I see as a person who has made a decision that you are the victory, or there's a victory where you are. It's like, because it's Tiwaz, it's the arrow, right? And we have to have direction to be able to have like the forward moving motion. Victory, grounding. And it's also a process of transformation when that happens. Like things have to change. Victory, for us to be able to claim victory or to be in victory, means that we previously have been in a battle. At least with the runes. We've previously been in a battle. The way I say that reminds me of Katniss Everdeen when they're in District 13, and is it Plutarch? They're trying to shoot that first promotion, and he's like, "You've just been in battle," and she's like trying to act, and she can't do it because it's not real. It's all fake. This is not fake. This is something that is real, just for clarity's sake. Sometimes spirits got jokes. That's great. So silly, but it's joyful. One ride ends, another begins. Joy pops out, a victory. And what I see is there's an approach. Someone's approaching you. It's like approach. There's an approach of victory. Someone says, "This is a victory. There's victory here. I have victory here. This is a victory." For some people, that's going to be a great thing. For some people, just keep your wits about you. Sometimes people claiming you as a victory is not necessarily your victory, So it depends on how you see the situation. It depends on your morals. It depends on what you want out of that situation. But there is going to be a presentation of relation where victory is possible. A presentation of relation where victory is possible. For some people, this could be business. For some people, this could be spiritual. It could be the spirits coming through saying, "We are ready for you now. Would you please welcome us?" For some people, this is going to be friendship based. "We're ready for you now. Please welcome us." For some people, this is going to be more intimate based, where we or I or whoever, "Ready for you now. Please welcome." So it's like a present again. For whoever, this is different areas for different people. Could be multiple. Look at what's coming to a close. That's going to offer guidance on what is starting. What's coming to a close? What are you inviting? What has just ended? Where are you going? Where's there room now? There's something coming through. So the joy is the activator for it. Joy also, because it's Wunyo is the rune. It looks like this, just for clarity's sake, for people who are not familiar. Wunyo. And one of the ways I read this rune is like, it's a full chest. Look at this. Look at that. It's a full heart. They got a full heart. So like joy, yes. And also, joy is not the only emotion that we carry in our chest. It's not the only emotion that we carry in our heart space. So being able to have a full heart on a constant, continuous basis, presentation of relation, because whoever is also offering this sort of victory and is kind of coming towards you, you are the direction. Interesting. You are the direction. That feels more specific maybe than I really meant it to be, but that's for sure. You're the direction. You're the direction. Think about it. You got free will. You can do whatever you want. You are the direction. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. You are the direction. That's a lot about Aquarius season. It's like being creative, being inventive, being different. Do things differently. Hold on. I need to say and think about something that is being said to me. Hold on. Give me just a moment. And think about if you're the direction. If you're the direction, that means any direction that you go in is a victory. If you're the direction, any relationship that you are in is a victory. If you are the direction, anything you do is a victory. Congrats. That's like a cheat code. That's what it feels like. It's like a trick of the trade. It's a cheat code. It also reminds me of the trickster compass. I don't remember what the original name of it is, but it looks the same in every single direction. That's why I call it the trickster compass, because it doesn't matter. Any direction you go, it's going to be the same thing. It's this one. It looks the same. I don't remember the old name of it, but it looks the same. I call it the trickster compass because you go in and look at that. Any direction you go in is going to be victory. Any direction you go in is going to be the same thing, which means you got to figure out what's really true for me. What's really true for me? I'm the victory, so where am I going? I'm the victory, so where am I going to be? Because that's what's important to me. There's some adventure after that. Something you can't predict is happening after that. Didn't I say that in the previous episode? I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said it in the previous podcast episode that you can't predict everything. You can't predict everything. This is going to be a bigger kind of rant about that, because spirits had that on my heart since really like November time. What was happening in November in America? Okay. November time. And because it was around that time there was other like tarot readers, astrologers, people were predicting the outcome of certain things. And I just remember looking at it, and this is no hate, no shade, no shame to the people who are also in the field of work where I sit. Okay, that's not what this is. Because everybody's learning. My cat getting into some, love him. And also, anyways, everybody's learning at different paces. So I was looking at other readers and astrologers and learning from them because people were predicting, what's going to happen, what's going on with certain runnings and races. And I didn't predict anything because I don't predict anything like that. It's not a part of my work. It's none of my business. Also, it's not for me to sit with. So it's none of my business. But I was looking at it kind of from an external viewpoint. And then people were like, oh, we were wrong. And that's when it started. That's when this narrative for me started. The narrative of like just me being in the awareness of like seeing that kind of succession of events happen. And I was like, not everything can be predicted. It was like this really loud message that spirit brought through. Not everything can be predicted. Not everything can be scripted, and not everything can be predicted. And it's been repetitive since then. So what is that? November, December, 3 months now? November, December, and January. Not everything can be predicted, and not everything can be scripted. He is getting into the trash. That's what he's doing. Yeah, you, what's up? He looked at me with eyes like, Mom, why are you bothering me? Listen, I love him, and also, whatever. I'll just let him be in the trash then. It's out there because I got to take it out. So he can get into it, and I'll take it out tomorrow. Oh, goodness. But yeah, it's been coming up since then. Not everything can be predicted, and not everything can be scripted. Not everything can be predicted, and not everything can be scripted. So something, this victory, an end to a ride, a beginning of something, having a full heart, any direction you go in is victorious, a presentation of relation also, and then something unpredicted happens. And you know what's interesting? Let's talk about that. One of the things that I've been really sitting with recently, because I've got some newer relationships in my life. I went through we're going to talk about personal perspective for a second, just for reference of where I'm coming from, because I think that's important to know when people are reading for other people, you know what I mean? So I'm coming through an period of my life. It was a good 2-3 years of just like death, destruction, removal, flat out. That's what I did for 3 years. It was a lot of work. So now I'm in a building phase again. I'm bringing new things in. The death and destruction is not so much. There's a couple things that have been wrapped up recently, finished, closed, necessary. And I had to be able to get out of that death and destruction to close the cycle. So news coming in. Fate's got me crossed with a couple new people, new spaces, new places, new faces. So I'm kind of sitting here wondering what's really going on, what's really going to happen. Because recently, also, I've been feeling called to get the witches and practitioners together. We got work to do. We got offerings to make. We got work to do. We got things, cycles to break. We got work to do. So let's get together. Let's do the work. And every single time recently, and there was people in the blog post who were talking about this also in the comments. Coming together is something that every single time that I think about it, when I'm blinded in the spaces of relation, or like I'm blinded and I'm not able to see the people that are around me, or like I'm just distant from them for whatever reason, all of a sudden I just like, it's just a feeling of like, we're better together. We're better together. We're better together. We're better together. That's another thing Spirit's been telling me for months. It's clever to go together. It's clever to go together. And there's certain people when I think about it, it's like, no, we're protected when we ride together. And I don't normally feel like that with people. Again, a couple of years of getting rid of people and clearing things out of my life. So it's a different sort of feeling. It's a different kind of energy recently. Like we're protected when we go together. Another lesson about this as well, when was it? Probably like early summertime, spring, summertime of 2024. One of the things, there's a community space that I go to and kind of hang out at semi-frequently. They kind of make fun of me because I'll disappear for a couple of months and then I'll come back and then I'll disappear again. But that's just kind of how I am every once in a while. I need time alone and by myself. And it is what it is. And I'm not going to apologize for it because I just need that. And also, when I was there, every once in a while, I would get kind of like cornered because I was by myself. I go sit by myself, I go do things by myself, I go be by myself. And I would get cornered. And spirit started telling me when you're by yourself, you're easier to pick off. When you're by yourself, you're easier to pick off. Go sit with people, go sit with your friends, go sit with the community that you're in and around. Because if you do, people can't come through and pick you off like that. Okay, thank you. The tactics of it, the tactics of it. So even though I really like being alone, I'm a little bit of a loner. Maybe that's surprising to some people, but you know what? Whatever. It's always been that way. I've always been a little bit of a loner. I like it. But recently, Spirit's like, you gotta get, it doesn't matter if you like being alone, you're gonna be safer together. You're gonna be safer together. So bringing these people in, it's like the right place at the right time, too. And I've been feeling that recently in the relationships that are new in my life. It's like, because there's multiple of them. There's multiple spaces, or it's a refreshing of faces, people I haven't seen in a while that are coming back in, that need to come back in. And every single time, it's like, okay, yeah, we're here at the right place at the right time for a reason. We're getting reconnected for a reason. And I just really feel that recently. It's like the togetherness. I can't remember who said that in the blog on the comments, but it's like togetherness. Just being in the togetherness is really important in this season. Being in the togetherness, having community, and having, if it's possible, multiple different communities that you are a part of. Multiple different spaces. That's one thing that, because say that, the community space that I hang out sometimes, there's lawyers there, there's people who are musicians, there's tattoo artists, there's people who know how to do all the like handyman stuff that I don't know anything about. You got a witch, you've got social workers, there's a whole bunch of random kind of like people that would show up to this community space, but all different skills, all important, because now it's like this multifaceted. If somebody needs something, somebody in that space probably knows someone or knows how to get it done. So being in multiple community places, in my opinion, is a really important thing. This day and age, we don't really get to do that without money. It's a very rare thing if you have that without money, just the way that the world is right now. And also, being able to have that on a basis where you can be rooted together, where you can come together, it's an important thing. So I think I'll, let let it be. That's the message also for me. Another seed grounding. We got a seed popping up from the ground and we got a seed grounding. What do you need me to see about that? Hard work. Okay. Let's talk about it. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be more than good. This is going to be great. There's another card. Hold on. I need to pull out another one. Yes. Oh. Huh. Oh. Okay. Hold on. I need just a moment before I start to talk about that one. Every once in a while, I don't know why this happens. Every once in a while, I'm sitting asking the spirits in my practice, yeah, you can be quiet if you want to. I felt the shift in energy, but I'm going to talk about it, okay? Every once in a while, I ask them questions. The spirits I keep in my altar. I ask them questions. When is this going to happen? What do I need to know? How can I prepare myself? And I don't get the answers until I sit right here and I do readings for all of us. Okay, I get it. So that's why I said I need a moment, because I've been waiting for this answer for, I don't know, weeks now, and here we are. So, I can't even talk about it. Hold on. I got to collect myself. That energy is like a rarity. It feels rare. Let me just rest with it for a moment. Actually, that was really good. You can see him on there. You can't see him on TikTok. He's back in the blinds. It scared me a little bit. Okay, so golly. We have a seed grounding. Remember earlier I said there's a seed popping up? It's like finally a seed's popping up. That's more the mother energy. There's a seed grounding. Finally, the gods are like, it's time. I see them flying over, and if this is, pretend this is a seed, okay? The gods are flying over. They're like, oh, you're ready. That's what I see. It's not up to me. It's not up to you. We just got to be prepared. We got to be ready. Here you go. Here you go. And then the work begins. The work of grins, the work. It's like I also see people sweating. It's like sweaty work. You want to come up, Bubba? Yeah, hi. You're welcome. They want to say hi to you. Yeah, they always want to say hi. You want to come up and say hi too? You sure can. Yeah, come on. You can do it. Do it. Come on, then. Yeah. Sometimes he takes some time, but the so good. He's a beautiful little kitty cat. He's my favorite actually. He's delicious. I was gonna say whatever. He's great. I don't actually eat cats. That's gross, but uh, at least in my opinion, I'm a vegan. Okay, track it. And also, he's fantastic. I meant delicious just in the energy of like I like him around. Anyways, let me not try to defend myself too much. Let me let it go. So then the work begins. Really got jokes. Okay. Then the work begins. The gods say, "Yeah, you're ready. Here's the seed. Here's what you need. The seed. Here's what you need. Here's what you need." Because what I see is real interesting. Let's talk about fate for a second. And do I have a pen over here somewhere? Let me use this one. Actually, hold on. Let me use this one. So, in fate work, because I work with the knot of weird for fate, just for reference, okay? There's more work to fate than just the knot of weird. Let's be very clear about that. And also because of the Norse practice offerings that I do work with, occasionally, more often than not, for me, the wisdom is going to come from this, but every once in a while it's different. So it just depends. And the lesson that I need to learn, offer, reach with currently comes from that. So every once in a while, we got things that come. Teacher mode, apparently. I need a whiteboard. Ridiculous. So maybe I'll add that to my Amazon wish list. Let me get the lesson going. So every once in a while with fate, you got something that comes from the ground and goes up to the sky. Can you see that? Goes from the ground, it goes up to the sky. Okay, so you're going from the bottom and then you're going up to the top. So that's one of the crossings of fate is like here on the earth, it's got to go up to the sky or from the well underneath of us, from like the depths, the well of fate. It's got to go from there up through the human realm and then up to the God realm. Sometimes it's from here to the gods, but wherever we're starting below and going up. Sometimes though, you've got, and this is also going to be, if time is going this way, we're going to put right now here and we're going to put the future over here. Okay. So right now, and then we're going into the future, it's going up into the sky. Beautiful. There's sometimes though with fate work where it's time for it to come back down to the earth. Let me get it on both screens. It's time for it to come back down to the earth, which means we got to go from here all the way over to here. What is this? Let me find it. Hold on. I got an example. Let me get the card out. There's a whole rune that this is. It's called Gebo. It's the crossing. It's the gift. There we go. Gebo. The crossing, the gift, okay? So this can happen in a lot of different orders, but this is the one that I'm hearing right now. It's like something coming from the earth up to where you are in the human realm. That's in the middle of the crossing. And what you do with it then feeds the spirits in the sky. So it's like, creation mode. And at the same time, the spirits that are up in the sky are bringing something down to the earth. 2 seeds at the same time. Overabundance. That's what that really feels like. Overabundant. And think about too, just for some perspective, do with this what you will. Just for some perspective. A lot of the times, you know what? I'm gonna tell you a story for perspective. Actually, I'm not just gonna give you some theory. I'm gonna tell you a story. Sometimes it's necessary to ground it as a human. I remember when I started doing this online work, okay, when I started my pages on TikTok in 2020, I think I started them in 2019, but I didn't actually start like posting in 2020 till 2020. So what I really wanted, at the time I was painting, I was making music, I was writing poetry, which I still write poetry and I still publish books, but at the time it was different. It was a different like genre or era of myself. Different genre of work. I guess that's valid. And What I really wanted was to be a famous artist. That was like my thing. I was like, I'm going to be a famous artist. I'm going to be a famous painter, a famous musician, a famous singer, songwriter. That's what I want. What's the saying? We make plans and God laughs. Okay. Yeah, accurate. So we get into like 2018, 2019. I've always been spiritual. I've been on the path of spirit for a long time. Long time. Long time. Born into it. All right. So, been on the path of spirit my whole life. Different eras, different phases, different, spaces depending on the age that I'm in. So for a long time, I want to be a famous artist. That was my thing. I want to be a famous artist. And I knew what I wanted to be able to do that. I needed time and I needed money. Give me the time to get myself set up and give me the finances to back it. Great. Didn't know how it was going to happen. Didn't know where it was going to come from. But that's what I asked for. That's what I needed. 2020 comes around. So I've been walking in spirit. I'm getting more serious in my practice 2018, 2019. Getting like real serious 2018, 2019. 2020 comes around. I'm like I like picked up some serious things in 2019, 2020, end of 2019, 2020, before COVID. COVID happens. All of a sudden, chaos. All of a sudden, chaos. I'm in the middle of losing my job. Find out that I'm pregnant. I'm going through with that whole situation. The situation with my job was really bad. It was like it could have been worse. Okay, it can always be worse. And I'm grateful that it wasn't. And also, it was pretty, we're going to leave that off the internet, but it was not good. It is what it was. And that is done. And thank goodness for that. And then all of a sudden, after months of just like, what the heck was that? It was probably like 3 months. Because then also, we're also going to leave that off the internet, but think about it. Think about the other stuff that was happening in 2020 time. Okay. So it was like several months of just like, what the heck was that? I'm sitting at my friend's house that I work with on a random Tuesday, and we all got the email. We all worked together. We all got the email at the same time. You're let go now. So now all of a sudden, after months of just like hardship and chaos and really like having to navigate things that were really difficult and having to do it pretty much not completely by myself, but it was like I was kind of isolated from my family, and obviously because COVID stuff, and it was a hard time for a lot of people. It is what it is, and it's over now for most people. All of a sudden, I was on unemployment and I had time. Yeah, right. Sometimes we got to go through unexpected chaos, unexpected, what the heck was that? And it has to be hard for a second because you're about to get what you want. One of the things that the spirits of war would remind me is that if you're about to get the victory, of course, you're going to have to fight the hardest. If you're about to get the victory, of course you're going to have to fight the hardest because it's like almost over. You don't get to the end of the video game and then, how do I say? You don't get to the end of the video game and then not have to face the boss. You know what I mean? Like if it's a fighting video game. This cat and his paper bags. Bubba, are you okay? There's a paper bag on the counter. That was real funny. I feel like the orange cat behavior. That was very much a mom moment. Are you all right? Hold on. Let me go check on him because I haven't heard a noise. Yeah, are you okay? Are you okay? I heard that. Yeah, it sounded like it hurt. Well, I'll leave you to it then. I'll leave you to it then. Oh my goodness. I went and got groceries earlier and I had the paper bag on the counter. I hadn't broken it down and put it in my stack for reusable stuff yet. And I could see it kind of hanging on the edge, like it wasn't all the way on the counter. He knocks them over and then he'll get inside of them. And so it wasn't all the way on the counter. And I was like, well, he's either going to fall or he's going to figure it out. And he definitely fell. So you know what? He's all right, though. That's clearly he ran off. I don't know if you saw him over here, but yeah. He's all right. Yeah, he's okay. He's very quiet right now. Yeah, he's all right. He was a little shaken up. He was like, what just happened? You got into a bag that didn't have any counter under it. That's what happened. But he's all right. You can see him back in on this side. You can see him over here. He's chilling. He is chilling. The life lesson. You know what? He teaches me a lot of life lessons. That little cat does. He teaches me more than he realizes, honestly. That's just what it is. Yeah. Mine's gone on a little zoomy time. Interesting. And let's go back for a moment. I want to go back. We got a crossing. This also for me is a gift of fate. It's a crossing of fate. Crossing of fate and a gift of fate. So we got the mothers coming up from the earth, and then we got the gods dropping something off at the same time. May not be exactly at the same time, but close enough in time that it's going to feel like the same time. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know what's going to happen. We need some chaos to pick some things up. We need some, it's not just chaos. Sometimes in chaos, there's loss. So, sometimes there's removal. Sometimes we got to be, it's like, what I see is somebody picking up a ladybug. It's like the ladybug was on a leaf, comfortable, but it was like a leaf that got brushed inside. You're going to get trapped in there. You don't need that. Pick the ladybug up, put it outside where it could be free. It's different environment, different style. It's different. And then the work can start. Then the work begins. And I've been feeling this. This is why at the beginning of this section of the reading, I had to take a second because I've been feeling the energy of work. Work. It's time for the work. It's time for work. Get the work in. Really start working again. Because I've gone through years now where I've like tried to pick up the work, and every time I pick up the work, I have a life lesson to learn. It's like I pick up the work and then the darkness returns. I pick up the work and then I got to sit in the shadow. I pick up the work and I can't do the work yet because there's this other thing over here I got to take care of. And I've been doing that for like 3 years now. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. And recently I've been feeling like, no, it's time to work now. It's time to work now. And that other stuff that I've been doing was to get out. I had to get it out of the way for myself. So discern if that resonates. I had to get it out of the way so that I could have the room and I could have the time. But I've also realized over the previous probably like year and a half, 9 months, around that, there's like a breakthrough idea I need. There's something I need. I need this idea. I need this kind of like with this what the gods and the mothers are bringing through. I need this idea. I need this seed. There's something I need. I need this genius. I need this creativity. And then the work can start. So there's going to be, you want to come up? You can come up here. You want to come up? Yeah, come up to the top. Yes. So there's going to be more work to do. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. You want me to put you down? Okay. I can do that. Interesting. You know, need the creative me to show me the way. I've been feeling that recently. And you know what? Over the previous weekend, it's like I had my sense knocked back into me. It was like I remember who I was again. It was like this part of myself that I've forgotten about for years. That's what I was trying to get him to do. He likes it up there. I've forgotten about this part of myself for years and years. The non-violent me. Non-violent. Not silent. Still talking and working and stuff. And also non-violent. Non-violent me has a lot to say. That's just what it is. And I'll leave maybe the rest of that story for another day. And also, there's so much different fighting, just bad situations that I've been in over the previous years that I had really like walked into a place where I was like, I got to figure out how to, if something physical were to happen, I've got to be able to handle it. Because there's been situations I've been in where it's like, clearly I was not able to. So I need to be able to figure out how to do that. Okay. And then recently, over the previous like 7-8 days now, less than that. It's only been like 3 or 4 actually, 4 or 5 time. And I've remembered non-violent me. It was just like something just clicked. Something clicked, and I was like, I've got to get back to that. I've got to get back to that's artist me. I've got to get back to that creativity, the non-violent me, the me who has so much to say, you know? Me who has so much to say. That for real. How do you get past the silence? You know, you got to empower your voice, honestly. The voice is a choice. That's one thing that Spirit's been reminding me of. Like, what you talk about is a choice. What you say is a choice. What your using your voice is a choice. Saying nothing is a choice. And saying nothing sometimes says something. Saying nothing usually says something. Depends on if it's good or bad, based on the situation and the people and the perspective. And also, saying nothing says something. So, like, even in you saying nothing or doing nothing, you're still making a choice. You're still making the choice to not say anything, or you're still making the choice to not do anything. And so, for me at least, getting up and out of the place where I wasn't able to say anything on a creative level, or like with my art, or like my voice and my work, it was very much just like I just had to start talking again. Because I just had to start talking. Oh my God, I can't believe I feel like this. I'm thinking about this person. Why am I thinking about them? And it didn't make any sense at first, but I just had to start talking again. Even to myself, to the spirits, whoever was around me that I felt like I needed to call on and they would listen. I was talking to them for a while. It was like a couple months of me just talking about how hard things had been, talking about all these situations where I didn't ever want to be back in there again, talking about the hardships and the heartbreaks and the hurt and the pain and strain, talking about it, getting it off my chest, getting it laid to rest. And then I was like, wait a minute, I can talk about things and not be stressed. I think I might want to go to the cafe today. And eventually it just shifts and just changes. That's how I got past it. That's how I changed it. That's how I changed it, you know? You want to pick up a gift, because that's really what it is like, you want to get past something, then what's the thing that you're trying to do? If you're trying to get past something, you got to get past the silence. Okay, well then go do something that isn't going to be silent. It could be dancing. Are you silent when you dance? No, you're breathing, you're moving, you're saying something with your dance moves, you know? So whatever it is, yeah. I hope that helps. Also, Mama on a mission. Thanks for that. That's great. I talked about this in a piece I wrote today about using our voices to protect those who can't or don't know how to. It's interesting. Protection is I have a different direction with protection than maybe most people do. I have a different direction with protection than maybe most practitioners or maybe not. I was going to say maybe not most practitioners, but I think so. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever heard somebody talk about this before. I have a really hard, stern. I don't have a lot of things in my practice that I'm like harsh about. That's not true. I don't have a lot of things I'm harsh about on the internet with my practice, but I have a lot of things in my practice that I'm like really stern and firm on. And protection is one of them. Being able to protect yourself, or it's not even, how do I say? If someone has the ability, distinctly, capability, ability, because some people don't have the ability, but if somebody has the ability to stick up for themselves, if somebody has the ability to stand up for themselves and they do nothing, I'm sitting down. I'm not doing anything. I'm sat. I will sit. That's very distinctly, though, if that person has the capability to do something and does nothing. Very distinctly. Very, very distinctly. Because if it's somebody who can't protect themselves, or somebody that's a whole different situation, that's a whole different conversation. Because then you get into things that are like disabilities and talking about, like the inclusion in communities, and like there's a whole other world of conversations when it comes to that. There's a whole other world of conversations of inclusivity and community and working together and being of aid for people, and there's a whole other world of conversation. But when it comes to magical practitioners and doing work and being in the sternness of a protective space, I'm not getting up for another person if they're not going to get up for themselves and they have the capability to get up for themselves. That's something that I will not do. I've learned the hard way. In many different forms. And it's thank goodness the lesson's done. That's what I will say about that one. I'm grateful I'm no longer in that battlefield. Thank you for getting me off of that place and space. But when it comes to the, helping other people who cannot help themselves, helping other people who do not have the capability, helping other people who need to be advocated for, that's a whole different conversation. Because then it depends on the person and the people and the situation and the perspectives, and that there's so many different layers to it once you get into that. So many different layers once you get into it. But yeah, when it comes, I have a very stern, very harsh, very like, I'm not doing protection work for somebody. I'll teach people how to do it. I'll show you how to. I'll show you how to. Because then, think about that. If I show you how to, if I could teach you how to protect yourself, it's like, let me just say what I was going to say instead of trying to use an analogy. Sometimes speaking directly is more effective. Oh, yeah. If I could teach somebody how to do it or teach them how I do it, how I protect myself is not necessarily how other people are going to protect themselves. You know what I mean? There's different forms of protection. So if somebody else is protecting themselves, what protects them is not necessarily going to protect me. And that's something that's one of the reasons that I don't get up and do protection work for other people if they have the capability to do it and they're not doing it for themselves, is because what protects them is going to be completely 100% different, more than likely. 99, 98, close to a lot, the whole thing. It's going to be very different than what protects me almost every single time. We're all different people. We all come from different places. And even if you have a relationship with a similar God or a similar spirit that I do, your relationship with that spirit and the tools that they offer you still going to be different. Still going to be very, very different. It's still going to be very, 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 very different. Your relationship with love is different than my relationship with love. Your relationship with truth is different than my relationship with truth. Your relationship with your ancestors is different than my relationship with my ancestors, because we come from different lineages and we come from different people. And we've done different work to get to where we are. We have different inheritances, and for good reason, because we come from different people in different places. So, what protects me is not necessarily going to protect you. I can teach you about order. I can teach you about structure. I can teach you how to clock a pattern. I can teach you how to look at, different tricks of the trade when it comes to protection. But when it comes to protection, I feel like is highly regarded. If the spirits in your practice are teaching you how to stay protected, don't tell nobody. Don't tell anybody. Keep it hush. Keep it secret. If you got spirits telling you how to protect yourself, that is not something you want to share with other people. If you got people trying to tell you how to protect yourself, that's the other thing, is like, why? How do I say this? Why would another person feel like they could protect you? If you could protect yourself, what power does it? Just really sit and think about that for a second. What power does it offer? If there's a person who says, yeah, I can protect you, but you're fully capable of protecting yourself, again, when we get into people who are not able to advocate for themselves or stick up for themselves, or that's a different space of this conversation, just for discernment, if you're just walking into the space and into the room. And also coming back into, if there's another person who says, yeah, I can protect you, but you're fully capable of standing up and protecting yourself, what power does it offer that person? Why would they want that protection over you? Really think about that. That might be homework. Really think about it. Why would they want to have that power over you? That's why I don't teach about it. If you could figure that out, if you could sit and put the pieces together, you could earn the wisdom of it. That's why I don't teach about protection. I teach about order and structure, which is protective in and of itself. That's a part of the nature of order and structure. Order and structure is also very destructive, though. Some people protect with destruction. Order and structure is neutral. So it's like, what are you going to do with it? That's one of the reasons I teach about it, is because there's a lot that you could do with it. But yeah, I don't, I'll teach you about order and structure. I'll teach and educate about order and structure. But when it comes to protection, the spirits got to let you know. The spirits in your practice got to let you know, because sometimes it's just not time. Sometimes it's like what they say, you ever seen that meme where there's like a stack of books and a stack of books and a stack of books, and one of them is short, and then there's one in the middle, and then there's one that's tall. The tall one is like, they're seeing this like dystopian view. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm seeing right now. I can't remember if that's accurate or not. It's like they're seeing this dystopian view, and then the middle one is seeing something that is like a greenery, but it's fake. And then the one below is seeing based like the wall. So It's like if you could really see what's going on, you could really learn because you got to read all those books to stand on all that wisdom. That's a lot to earn, and wisdom is responsibility. So that's another reason I don't teach on protection. Is like what I know might you might not need to know that, and it's not my decision to make that. It's not my decision to make because that's spirit's decision to make. I'm not taking innocence if I don't need to. Ooh, no, keep me clocked out of that. Keep me clocked out of that. I don't need it. I don't need that responsibility. Nope, spirit can teach you. The spirits in your practice can teach you. They can take that innocence if they want to, if it's time and if you're ready. But I don't know that. I don't know that. And thank goodness I don't know that because that keeps you protected also. Ugh. Gives me like the I don't even know what that is. It's just like that's a lot. That's a lot. I don't even remember how somebody said something about protection. I went on a whole rant. I went on a whole rant. Oh my goodness. Golly. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mhm, mhm. It is, cause yeah, what you got going on for protection is, like, sometimes like, I look back at my life, what I was doing 5 years ago to protect myself, if I was doing that right now, I'd be in the middle of a battlefield, I'd be in the middle of something horrible for myself. I'd be in the middle of something that I would wanna get out of immediately, but 5 years ago, it made sense. So, perspective, time shifts, we change as people too, and again, sometimes we're just not ready. Had I been able to go back I think about this all the time. There's a Hosier song that has this line in it. It's like if you something about if you could put me at the beginning, if I had to do it again, I'd do it all over again. Makes me cry every time I listen to it. Yeah, if I could tell me 7 years ago what they were gonna have to go through to become the person that they wanted to be to get here, to get to this, if I had told her, I wouldn't. If I had the opportunity to go back and tell her, I'd keep my mouth shut. I would say nothing. I would say absolutely nothing. I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't say anything because she doesn't need to know yet. She's out there partying. That version of me is out there partying, doing things she probably wasn't supposed to be doing, but she's having fun. She was doing whatever she felt like she needed to do at the time. She was exploring. She was, earning different wisdoms that now I have with myself because I went and did it back then. But had I known back then what I know now, that would not have protected me back then. That wisdom that I have now would not have protected me back then. So sometimes we don't need to know. Sometimes we don't need to know. That's if I don't need to know, don't tell me. If I don't need to know, then keep it to yourself. Keep it not necessarily you, but just like whoever, wherever, keep it to yourself. If I don't need to know, I don't need to know. I already know a lot more than I thought I was going to. So if you don't need to tell me, don't tell me. If you don't need to tell me, don't tell me. Oh, goodness. Yeah, if you don't because every single time that's the thing about wisdom. Because 'cause I've always asked a lot of questions. I've always been a, why is that?" kind of person. So much trouble I get in myself. Oh my goodness, with that order, with that structure. Why is that? I was a why kid. Why do you do that? Why does that happen? I was a why child. Oh, goodness. I've always been a why child until I got to recently in my life where I'm like, "Let me not ask questions I don't need to know about." Grateful for that change. I grew up, don't know how it happened or when. The specific moment, I know how because I lived the life, but the specific moment if there was a change. Anyways, yeah, no. Recently, it's like if I don't need to know, don't tell me. I know enough. I got enough responsibility. Every time that you earn a wisdom, that's a new responsibility you got to sit in. Every time I learn something, every time spirit brings me something, at least that's how it is these days. And I don't mean to say, how do I say? This is what I'll say. I got an email from somebody earlier, a client that I sat with recently. And one of the lines that they put in there, something about sharing my gifts and it being a glorious, glorious burden the glorious burden of purpose. That's what they said. The glorious burden of purpose. And I was real interested in their email. I was reading, I was real interested in it. And I got to that line and I had to put the phone down and cry for a second. Because it is. When you know things that other people don't know, that's not to say that you don't know things that I don't know. You probably know a lot of stuff I don't know. We all sit in different responsibilities and different wisdoms. That's just what it is. But when you know things that you're not supposed to talk about, when you know things that the spirits have asked you to keep quiet, golly, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And it's something that has been placed on me. So, yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Oh, he's over here. A little sleepy boy. A little sleepy boy. So good. As a self-initiate, my wisdom has been forged on my path. You know, sometimes it needs to be. That's just what it is. It needs to be. Graduated 5 years of trauma therapy. Never have done it if I'd known how gnarly it was gonna be. For real though, honestly. For real though, honestly, I understand that. You know? The ethics of parenting is what is to be taught. Ah, interesting. I like that. Thank you for that. Also, thanks for that. Oh, good. Practice and a charity. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, thanks. Interesting. Send me links. Send me links. Send me whatever you got. Send me links. Send me links. I had someone reach out to me. I don't really do, at least not recently. I haven't done like a lot of connections with people. Somebody said they want me on their podcast. I haven't done a lot of connections with people recently. I did get an email. I haven't gotten a lot of those emails recently. I was getting them a lot at one point when I was like around 225 to 250,000 followers on TikTok. I was getting a lot of those emails. There was a management company that wanted to pick me up and I was like, man, I'm good. So yeah, I haven't gotten those emails in a while. Maybe it's time for them to start coming through again. I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. I feel like there's some more information to come through. I've been sitting and yapping. Not a bad thing. I've just been sitting and yapping. So let's see what else. A birth that lands. That was such a soft. You couldn't really see it because it landed in my lap, but it was a soft, it was like a very like, it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was like, you know, when your head hits the pillow, that's what it was like, but it was a card landing in my lap. A birth, a soft birth. Interesting. A soft birth. Then we got a couple cards. We got new coming through. This is meant to be a mystery, is it? Is it not? But why? Why? Let me not ask what I don't need to know. Let it be a mystery then. That's fine. Something consecrated. Something consecrated. Speaking of the snow. Interesting. Speaking of the snow, something consecrated. Something already done. Something already done. You know how it is to already have it in the bag? It's a humble brag. All you got to do is keep walking. Keep walking, keep talking, keep showing up, keep living your life. You already consecrated it. And probably you're not going to see that until you get to the other side of the new thing coming in. New thing coming in, literally landing in your lap. Literally, thank you for saying that. Literally landing in your lap. Arriving. Interesting. The new coming through. Interesting. New coming through. How do I talk about that on this internet page? There's a certain kind of, and don't go yelling off in the comments about it, okay? But there's a certain kind of, because we don't need anything to get, there's a certain kind of magic that has to do with the body. There are certain kinds. There's multiple different kinds of magic that have to do with the body that are not necessarily meant to be talked about within, how do I say, the restrictions of the guidelines of these spaces. Valid. Okay. Community guidelines exist for a reason. And if there's any kind of that magic that has been in your life, adult spicy magic sometimes is what I call it. Also ancestral magic for reference of different places and spaces that could be applicable. Okay. New coming through. What work did you already do in the past? What have you already done? You already did it. You already did it. You're just now moving. Yes, hi. Yes, hi. You already did it. Now you're just moving through it. The harvest is grounding. So it's like the new comes in and then you get to reap everything. Also, not just a reaping, it's a sowing of the seeds. The new comes in and you're like, oh, it reminds me of like, say that for your birthday or for like the holiday time, you ask for certain things because you want to like start a project or you want to do something with it, not just to play the game, not just for here right now thing, but it's like, I'm going to invent something and I need these tools. I'm going to build something and I need these tools. So you ask for something I'm laughing at myself. You asked for some. Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you. I'll clock it for me. I appreciate it. I see it. I see it. I see it. Thanks. You asked for some things specifically. You asked for some things specifically, and when the new comes in, it's like, okay, I just see like someone going to the drawing board again and being like, what am I gonna, now that this is here, what am I gonna do with it? Let's get creative now. I have some things I need to get done now. I can see the pieces. I'm going to plant this over here. I'm going to get this done over here. I also see people around you, for people who are kind of like in this plotting, scheming, planning kind of energy. When the new comes in, there's a birth, there's a new. This is a lot of motherly energy. The birth, the new, sort of magic coming through, the birth, the new, the birth, the new. Usually the birth is what ushers in the new, but it's two separate things. The birth and the new. It's the birth and the new. They usually, the birth and the new go together, but this is like birth and new. A birth is something new, but there's also another new thing. Interesting. Okay, so valid. And I see if you're the person who asked for these tools, you ask for the tools, you ask for, it could be money, it could be honey, it could be people, it could be some kind of security. There's also like seeds. It's just seeds. It's like seeds you want to plant in your life. Seeds, tools. Interesting. I see you kind of like, you have the tools. You ever met somebody? How do I say this? What's the picture I can paint for this? Because this is a great picture. There's a book that I was reading a long time ago. Haven't finished it yet. Pretty good story. It's called Children of Ragnarok. Do I have it over here? Do I need to go get it? Let me go get it. Let me go get it so you can see it in case you want to read it. It's like a kid. It's like a young adult teenage book. So it's none of the, fairy spicy stuff that's going on. And also, hold on. Maybe I need to finish this book. Not there, literally. Oh my goodness. I'm going to need to sit with this when we get off of this, but you know what? All right. Oh my. Fate is really fading today. It's called Children of Ragnarok. It's a beautiful book. Children of Ragnarok is by Cinda Williams Chima. I believe it's Chima. That might be wrong. Chima. In the beginning, it follows two different characters. In the beginning, I don't remember her name, but the girl character is a girl and a boy. The girl character is enthralled to a fire demon. And so they go to different towns, they go to different places. And when they go to these different towns and different places, he goes off and does whatever he's doing. And she has like this whole setup of like this belt with all these magical tools and like the runes, and she has like healing ointments and like a whole bunch, but she does it, how do I say? It's like she has magical trinkets, but her gifts are like really powerful and she hasn't figured out how to wield them, so she doesn't really use them. She only makes the trinkets. But then there becomes a part in the book where she brings somebody back from the dead. It's crazy. And so then it is crazy. It's crazy. I'm going to leave it there, but it's crazy. So, but it reminds me of her at the beginning when she has like all of these different tools with her and she's able to plant the seeds with people, or she's like, you need this ointment and you need this piece of advice and you need this feather and you need whatever it is. But these are like more serious tools. Thanks for letting me tell that story. Beautiful. I needed this book to come back out. I'm gonna put it over here on the ground because it needs to be. So thanks for bringing that through for me. What the heck? Literally all day today, I need to finish this message before I go out on a rant again, because it has just been rant city, me talking tonight. Sometimes that's what it needs to be. And also, my goodness, golly, spirits really got me spiriting today. Spirits really caught me spiriting today. I had a call put on me earlier. It was like, I gotta go. I gotta get up and I gotta go. I gotta get up and I gotta go. For whatever reason, I feel like I need to tell that story. So I'm gonna tell it. I just had this feeling. I was like, and how do I say? I'm really tired. I'm recovering from an injury. I'm like, but earlier I was like, I just gotta get up and I gotta go. Like, I feel protected again. Not that I wasn't feeling protected beforehand, but like I'm not feeling as sick, I'm not feeling as down. I gotta get up and I gotta go. Like I know I might use some energy, but I'll probably recover later. I gotta get up and I gotta go. So I got up and I went, got some gas in my tank. Gorgeous, love that. So grateful, so grateful. Went to get my offerings at the metaphysical store, and there was vultures. The vultures had been flying over recently. I drove. Somebody tell me why. You know, I said it earlier, I don't ask unless I need to know. I would love to know why this is happening. Earlier, I was driving through where I live, and the vultures followed me. I went to one place. They didn't follow me to the second place, but they were at the second place, and there was way more of them at the second place. And then when I went to the second place, it was a food place. They said they were open online, but they're closed. Sad. It is what it is. So I didn't go inside, but I was sitting there and I was watching the vultures. I was like, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. There's probably like 30 of them flying around. So then I drive past. I was like, I don't normally take this street, but I need to go and drive to where the vultures are. Okay. And recently I've been in my truck driving and I have the call put on me to go follow the vultures. That's happened twice now. Understood. So I followed the vultures and they were swooping down over the cemetery. They were swooping down. Okay. And then I left, drove up. I had to do kind of like a big circle to get back to where I needed to be because I was following the vultures. It is what it is. I like going in my spiritual circles sometimes. So then I went to the grocery store to pick food up. And on the way to the grocery store, they were flying over my car and like following me there, get to the spot, and they're flying over me there too. They were flying over me earlier today. Interesting. So, yeah. Interesting. Yep. Anyways, going back to this. I'll realize it when I need to. That's just how things work for me. I'll realize it when I need to. I'll be at the right place at the right time. There's a reason I'm bringing it up. Sometimes you just know things. Why am I thinking about that right now? Hold on. I feel like this is a personal breakdown for whatever reason, and we're going to get back to the collective message in a second. Why are we talking about sometimes you just know things? Oh, yeah? Sometimes you just know things? Sometimes you just know things. So look here for just a second. Sometimes I do just know things. And I've been saying that to myself for months now. Sometimes I just know things. And recently, there's been a couple of things. Let me not get too personal about this, but there's been a couple of things around where I'm like, do I need to freak out about this? No. It's like what would normally make me achy, shaky, breaky. Recently, my spirit's been solid. I feel like a mother recently, just sitting, waiting, patient. Sometimes I just know things. Interesting. Okay, well, let me rest in it. I'll understand when I need to. Fully in the full picture, because there's still some things I need to like recover from that. I feel. Getting back to this, we got the birth, we got the new coming through. Interesting. What do you know you need to do? What do you know is coming through? That's a part of that. What do you know is coming through for you? Sometimes you just know things. Hello. Sometimes you just know things. So what do you know? What is it that you know? You see his little tail going off too? Yeah, you can see it over here. I don't know if you can see it over there. His tail on this side. Yeah, going off. What do you just know? What do you know? What do you know is going to be good for you? What do you know is coming through? What do you know you need to do? What do you know? That's real weird because I'm sitting here looking at what I know, not necessarily right here in front of me, okay, but just like in front of me generally in life. I'm looking at what I know in this one situation, and I'm looking at what I know, and I'm going, now I get it. Okay. If that's what it needs to be, then that's just what it is. Planting the seeds. Oh my God. Every once in a while, I realize really personal things on the internet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What does this say? My team has completed the first stage of the team quest. Team cheers. Nice. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. I don't even really know what that is. I don't play the TikTok game things, but cool. Thanks. Interesting. Hmm. So what do you just know? Because you're about to be the person with everything you need. It's kind of rare to find somebody who has everything they need in the world that we live in. You got everything you need. You got everything you need. You got money, you got time, you got people, you got a place to live, you got transportation, you got food, you got comfort, you got interest, you got passion, you got heart, you got love, you got protection, you got the spirits, you got everything you need. You're about to be the person who has everything they need. And a person who has everything they need can overflow. A person who has everything they need is overflowing. It's so much easier to grow when you have everything that you need. Everything you need. And you're growing 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 and there's overflow. That means you're going to be able to help. It's like the law of reciprocity. Somebody said that to me in a session recently, and I cannot remember who it was. But there was somebody who said that in a session recently. The law of reciprocity, and it just stuck like glue after they said it. I've been saying it a lot. The law of reciprocity, because think about it, if you have everything you need and it's going and it's going and it's going and it's flowing and it's growing, all the good stuff, right? Law of reciprocity means eventually that's got to come back to you. That means somebody else who has everything they need is eventually going to make that offering to you. Law of reciprocity. It's a beautiful thing. So it's like you're sowing the seeds. You're sowing the seeds. You have everything that you need. All right, give a little, live a little, love a little. You know, it's time. There's a clarity on a cycle. Lots of light. Lot of light. I also heard a shining knight. A shining knight. I see somebody in like knight's armor, shining knight, and also like a full moon night. Like there's a lot of light at night. Could be both. Could be just one. It depends on you and what you need to get done. Shining light, shining night, shining night. Also a direct, something struck. Something struck. Not stricken, not like it's stuck, but something struck. Like a chord, like an instrument. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you for that word. Mm-hmm. Like an instrument, like a chord. Something struck. There's a tune playing, and there's another chord that's going to be struck. But before this next chord is struck, the birth, the new, when it has to do with like ancestral, possibly adult forms of magic, planting the seeds, overflowing, overgrowing, a cycle coming to a close, a new cycle begins, clarity in the bright light, bright night, and then a new chord is struck. I also heard harmony. I saw a rainbow. I saw a rainbow? A rainbow. You're giving us a rainbow? For me, oh my goodness, the rainbow is the bridge. It's the bridge. It's the bridge between us and the gods. It's a bridge between us and the spirits. It's a bridge. It's a bridge. You're giving us the rainbow. You're going to strike a chord. It's going to be the rainbow. Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you. Interesting. Harmony. Harmony. What you got, Bubba? Thanks. Appreciate it. Wow. Unexpectedly. Unexpectedly. You know it. You know it. You know you need to do it. You know you're growing in it. You know it's a knowing. Knowing and how things show up is two different things. Knowing and then receiving, two different things. Knowing and receiving are completely different. They're not completely different. They're two different things though. What you know, you will receive. And when you receive, it's going to be what is known is different though. It's like, it's similar. It's basically the same thing, but it's different. Unexpected. Oh, this has me really, this is like, I feel like cheersing somebody. I feel like cheersing somebody. That's how this makes me feel. Cheers. Congrats. That's what this feels like. Oh my goodness. This has me really excited. This has me more than really excited. This has me like, I was talking to somebody earlier and they were like, I feel lit up. They were working on something. They were telling me about it. They were like, I feel hype about it. I feel lit up. I feel like I'm fire about it. That's how I feel about this. That's how I feel about this. Bliss. Bliss. Oh my gosh. Also, the bridge of a song. That's true. Interesting. The bridge of a song only happens once. That's an interesting perspective. Or it's like the chorus happens, more than once. The bridge is also something different. It's like the different part of the song, the part of the song that's supposed to sound a little different. Interesting. That was really a bridge. A bridge? Sometimes you just know things. Sometimes you just know things. The vultures have been flying over me recently. Oh. I revere that. I'm not gonna share that on the internet, and I revere that. How interesting. Oh my goodness. That final Now I'm curious. So mysterious. Now I'm curious. Sometimes I surprise myself with how much I know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the because it's like I can see what has happened. I can see what is in the happening. I'm interested to see what will be. Interesting. Sometimes I do just know things. And, recently, Spirit has been asking me to be really patient. Really patient. Spirit's been asking me to be patient for years, though. So, really, what's new? Really, what's new, Really, what's new? Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. That's crazy. Uh-huh. I feel like the group reading is over. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that I'm ready to get off yet, though. That interesting. Uh-huh. 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 Huh. Everything with the purpose and a reason and a rhyme and a time, Sometimes we want things and it's just not time yet. Sometimes we know things and it's just not time yet. Sometimes we know things and we think it's time, but it's not time yet. Sometimes we know things and we know it's time now. Oh, goodness. I'm really whenever I'm ready to share it in the future, I might be. I might not be. It depends, but interesting. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that elevation. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's real. And the suspense is real, though. I know. I'm sitting here saying to myself a lot of things. That's real interesting. Recently, it's been happening naturally recently where if I don't need to say something out loud, Spirit doesn't even, if I was going to talk about it, it's like I can't talk about it. All of a sudden, I'm like, it's like Spirit swoops in. So I just revere it because you know what? You put some tape over my mouth every once in a while. I yap for a living. That's what I tell people. I talk for a living. So of course, every once in a while, Spirit's going to come in and be like, shh. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Spirit says shh. Spirit does say shh. Let's all get another yappuccino. If you could go to my local coffee place and tell them to make me a drink, I go there often enough. I want a personalized coffee. That's called a yappuccino. I love that so much. I want I want that so badly, actually. A yappuccino, because they'd have like seasonal drinks. The cafe I go to is my favorite cafe. I'm not gonna tell you where it is. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Okay. It's my favorite spot and it's quiet. The only people who go there are people who are also in quiet mode. So, anyways, it's my favorite spot. And they do like seasonal drinks, monthly drinks, every couple months. They change up the like flavors. And I want somebody to, how are they gonna tell them if I'm not gonna tell them where it is? So well, whatever. But that would be great. Somebody call them up. Make a yappuccino. That was great. You can't see it over here, but there was a comment that said, "Can we get another?" Don't go yet. We need another yappuccino. Oh my goodness. Hey. Thank you. I know you're right. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, he's just doing his job. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The yappuccino. I don't even know what I was gonna say before that. Oh, the vultures. I'm kind of want. That's really crazy, honestly. I'm grateful that I was able to talk about that and get that figured out because I honestly didn't realize why the vultures have been around me until right then and right there. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I'll leave it be. Do you want me to get off so I can go? You want to go play a game? You want to go spend some time together? You want to come up? What you want? What you need, Bubba? Come on then. Yeah. Oh no, you just okay. Orange cat behavior. I think I'm gonna get off and go spend time with him because he's starting to bite my ankles. So I'm gonna go do that. Thanks for hanging out with me. The reading was great. This was it's been like almost 2 hours. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Hi, Bubba. I know. I'll get off. I'll come hang out with you. It's good. For anyone who's interested and curious about the spell work, the group spell work to come, go check out the blog. There's going to be more updates information. I'm probably going to make another video on TikTok and YouTube about it. And I'm going to have a video coming up soon with order. I got some stuff to get together behind the scenes, but once it's done, announcements will be up and around. So that's what it is. And I'll be in touch. Love you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support with all the shifts in the world. I'm grateful you're here. That's true. Thank you. Bye.